What's going on, guys? John with the ProCut. We're out here today. We're going to do some maintenance and upgrades on our 3D printer. I know the lighting is crazy, but I'm out here in the studio. The sun is shining today. It's a beautiful day, and so you get what you get and you don't get upset. Don't cry about the lighting. I do have my mic mini on, so hopefully the audio is good. We'll see what happens. So you'll know if you follow the channel at all, I put this 3D printer in an enclosure. I'm not sure if the enclosure is what caused the malfunction or not, but at any rate, it was very large to have in the studio here, so I decided to take the enclosure down and return it. So the last print that I tried to make, it kind of failed. Right from Jump Street, it was messed up on the bottom, and then it got okay, and then it just stopped printing. And of course, I didn't catch it until several hours later, so the print head was about this high and just doing its thing, but not printing anything, because the printer head, the nozzle, I'm guessing, had gotten clogged or something happened. And this is called a Bowden tube, and it basically got clogged and just trash. You can see it's all bent, all wonky, partially due to me trying to get it out. So let me turn this around, show you what we got going on here. So you hang your filament up here and it goes into the extruder, and it snapped and got stuck here at the extruder. So I got that out of there. I removed the Bowden tube, which was quite a pain. And then there's a screw on the back side that holds your print head cover. Be careful, because the wires are all connected into here with fans and everything. And then here's your hot end as well as your nozzle. So to remove the nozzle, you're going to heat this thing up to the temperature that you would normally use it at, and then you're able to get in there and remove the nozzle. Now on Ender 3, it comes with these cheap little wrenches. That joker is going to be way too tight for these to work, so get yourself a 6mm socket, and that's going to work fine. And you'll remove this silicone piece off of here, and then you can swap out your nozzle. Now to get your Bowden tube out of here, you'll take the little blue clip off, and then you'll press this thing down around the edge of that tube, and that should unlock it so you can get the tube out. But you're probably going to need some pliers, and it's going to be really hard, but you can get that tube out of there. I wound up taking this fitting out of here and just pulling the Bowden tube out the other way after I finally got it disconnected from the hot end. Like I said, it was not easy. So now let me go ahead and set you back up here on the tripod, because I've got a package with some upgrades. I'll have the link in the description. This was, I think it was $17.99 on Amazon, so it will be an affiliate link. You don't get charged anymore for that, but they'll give me a little bit of the action as a thank you for sending you their way. So instead of just buying a new Bowden tube, I got this upgrade kit. So we've got upgraded bed build plate springs, upgraded adjustment wheels for the build plate, and a fully upgraded extruder as well. So I'm going to show you how to put all this stuff on your machine, and we'll go from there. So stand by. I'm going to go ahead and pause you guys. I'm going to get this stuff prepped out and ready to go, and then I'll show you how to do it. Alright guys, so the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and swap out our build plate hardware here. So the kit comes with 2 sets of springs. The shorter springs are going to be for the Ender series, and these ones are for the CR series, but doesn't matter. We're talking about the Ender. So you're going to get your shorter springs, and then you're going to go ahead and take all your old wheels off, and I'm going to go ahead and pause it while I do this. Okay, so with all the old plastic wheels off, because you're going to be replacing them with your aluminum wheels, then you can lift the bed and you'll see you got your springs here. Just go ahead and remove those, and then your back spring is going to be underneath this part that protects the wiring for the bed. All right, so let me set this and we'll get our new springs out of the bag here. I should have already had this done, but it is what it is. All right, so the first one you're going to deal with is this one, so you can get this plastic bit back on here. Okay, that's there. And then you can set your other springs up over the holes, and then go ahead and get your bolts through there. Okay, now these springs are just stiffer than the old springs, so they make it a little bit easier to adjust this thing and have it stay in adjustment. And then you're going to want to put these wheels on, so this little extra hub is on this side. You'll notice this side is just kind of concave, and this side has this hub that comes up flush with this. So the portion with the hub you want facing up, and then you can just go ahead and put that on to where it just starts hitting. You don't need to tighten it down or anything like that right now while you're getting the rest of them on. So you could just get it started and then give it a little spin, and it'll go up on there where it needs to be. All right, and then you can just go ahead and tighten these things down to where your springs are like halfway compressed. So I'm just gonna give these a half dozen or so twists. Go a little bit more. All right, and then we'll get into trimming or leveling the bed later. So the next thing we're going to do is get all this stuff out of our way and open up this extruder pack. So I'm going to pause you again. I'm going to take care of some stuff, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so we got all our parts out here. So now the wheel on top just lifts right off. You see it's got a flat side. That's how it's able to work. But then we're going to go ahead and disassemble this extruder here so we can put our upgraded one on. And I'm going to go ahead and get the tools and set you up so you can see what I'm doing, and we'll go from there. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is take the spring out. So that's just going to be this screw here. And then that should release this spring, or maybe not. Gonna have to take a couple of other parts off first before the spring releases. So we'll go ahead and get this backboard off of here, and that's just two little Allen screws. Should release this part, we'll see. Nope, because this is actually connected to the whole bottom. Okay, so this one has to come off, which is going to be the next Size up, or no, it's not. Be this guy. And your Creality Ender comes with all these Allen keys. Yeah, I think this the standard, the stock unit here, I believe is plastic. So there we go. Yeah, so now that spring can come out of there, and there's a little seat that goes with that spring, so don't lose that. I believe that piece gets reused, or no, there's actually an upgraded one of those as well. So then you'll continue to loosen this Allen all the way, and then you'll be able to lift this piece out. And no need to take off this little pulley wheel, because you've got all new ones of those as well, so this can just stay together. Now you can get this last Allen out, and hold on to your extruder motor, because it's going to want to drop, so just set that down onto the build plate. Yeah, this stock one is just all plastic, whereas the new one is aluminum. I'm not going to call it billet, because it's probably not, but it is a really nice upgrade from what you had. So we'll set that there. And your kit comes with all new hardware, so you don't have to reuse the old stuff. But we will put all the old stuff back in the bag that the new stuff came in. So I'm just gonna spread this stuff out. We are gonna put our new pinion gear on. There's all new hardware. And there's a lock washer here, which must go, yeah, so the lock washer is going to go on top of your new pulley. Alright, so let me go ahead and swap out that pinion gear, which you'll notice there's two little grub screws on that. So that's what secures it to the motor, and I'm going to try and position it exactly where the old one was. You can see some wear damage on that, and then we'll go from there. Stand by. Alright, so I've got the pinion swapped over, and you can see there is a little bit of damage to this, so it's good that we're upgrading it. And it's just got the two little grub Allens, and they're going to lock down on the shaft, making sure one of the Allens goes on the flat portion of the shaft. So now we can go ahead and set up our new arm here with the new pulley. And I don't think anything goes under this. So you're going to take the screw with the, I don't know what you would call that head, but that's the head you want. Go ahead and put your little split ring washer on that. Put it through your pulley. And then you're going to tighten that down onto there. And you should be able to tighten this all the way down. and then this has got a bearing, so it's going to spin freely even though you've got this tightened down all the way. That way your split ring washer crushes down a little bit and locks that into place. All right. Now I'm noticing there's a threaded hole here, whereas the factory one just had a little plastic dimple coming out to hold this in. So we'll figure out what that wants and we'll go from there. Okay, so now this little red bush, you're going to take this bolt and put in there, and this is what's going to hold this arm onto the unit. But before we put that on, we're going to go ahead and use the beveled nut, or bolt rather, and two of these other bolts, and we're going to go ahead and put this extruder into place. So this beveled one goes back here, and then two regular ones go on the front, and that's going to hold your engine up there as well, or motor rather. So we'll go ahead and do that. So I've got this part back on, and then I've adjusted my pinion gear down just a little bit, kind of so it's in the middle. You can see where the extruder hole is, where the filament goes through. So I've just kind of put that pinion down to where it's in the middle of that. Now, to figure out how this part and the spring go together. Okay, so then you're going to take one of your other screws and put into the side of the arm there, and that's going to retain your spring. And then the other one, just get started in up here, but just have it to where it's not really sticking out the back side at all. And then you can go ahead and put your arm into place with your spring, and then tighten this screw in, and it'll hold the spring from popping out. So let me see if I can get you set back up over here to where hopefully you can see what I'm doing. And hopefully I don't put my arm or hand too much in the way, and you can still somewhat see what I'm doing here. So, alright. So we've just got that started in there. We're not going to snug that down yet. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and put my spring in. And this is a little bit stiffer spring than the factory spring as well. So then you'll go ahead and just tighten this screw all the way into place and snug it down. And now that spring, it could slide around if it wants to, but it's not going to pop out of there. So now we can go ahead and tighten our arm down the rest of the way. And you want it to where it's tight but not overly tight, because it does need to be able to move, but you don't want a bunch of slop in it. So I'm going to go ahead. It's tightened down pretty well and still moves perfectly fine. So I'm going to call that good. Alright, so with that done, you could put your new Bowden tube fitting in here. Hand tight, and then take your wrench that came with your kit and just tighten her down where she needs to be. So now it's good to go. The next thing we're going to do is go ahead and put our upgraded Bowden tube into place. Now let me show you. Hopefully you'll be able to see this here, but you can tell. Let me try and get it somewhere where the damn camera is going to focus in on it a little bit better. But you could see, hopefully, that the new upgraded gray tube has got a much tighter tolerance hole than the old white tube. And it's also a different material. It's all upgraded because this white that it comes with is just not that great. So we're going to go ahead and install this new tube between the extruder and the hot end, and then we can put our C-clips back into place. And we may have to trim this Bowden tube down a little bit. We'll see. Okay, and this is just a push fitting, so you're going to want to push that in as far as it will go. And then you can take the smaller of the two C-clips, put that in there, and then what that C-clip does is this gray part is not able to push in anymore, so it won't release this Bowden tube. So then we're going to go ahead and cut our Bowden tube to length, and we'll just kind of use the wiring harness to the hot end as a guide for how long we need to make this Bowden tube. Or we can go by the old Bowden tube. Go ahead and measure that out, and that's what I'm going to use. Alright, and I'm going to get a razor knife and we'll cut this to length. So we'll take this old Bowden tube and just match the new one up. And I'm going to add just a little bit to it, and then we'll use this razor knife and that way we get a nice square cut at the end. And then this will go into your hot end, and just like the top one, you want to go ahead and make sure you've pushed that in all the way. And then your C-clip can go back into there to lock the push lock so it can't come back out. Alright, and then we'll put this cover back on here, which just got to get one of these screws that I put back in here back out. Actually, it's this one. Screw this back into place, and then you're ready to go on to the next step. Alright, so your next step is you're just going to want to get zip ties and tidy this, your power cables up to your Bowden tube so everything can move freely. And then now with the upgraded one, there's no longer a spot to hold that cable. So I'm not 100% sure of what to do with it. Maybe zip tie it to this side over here probably. I believe that'll work. So we're going to go ahead and tidy this up a little bit more, and then use our flush cut side cutters and cut these tail ends off of these, and then you'll be ready to go. Alright, so I've got the wiring all tidied up, and then the last thing remaining is to drop your wheel back on to your extruder. So here's my factory parts, put back in these bags with these other springs, and then you have enough Bowden tube left over to replace it one more time if you ever need to. This old Bowden tube I'm just gonna put right in the trash. The next thing is going to be to go ahead and trim or level the bed, and we're going to go ahead and calibrate our E-steps, which should be interesting. That I haven't done before, so hopefully it's fairly simple like the videos show, and I'll make a video for myself for you guys. All right, thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. This is John with the ProCut signing out, letting you know that you are appreciated. Alright guys, so I've got everything put back together. I trimmed it and everything. Now this is the second print that I'm trying since I put it all back together. I don't think I had that Bowden tube on the hot end in all the way because it made this clump and got a clog. Not sure if this is not wanting to focus, but at any rate, so I took the hot end back apart, cleared this clog out, and just put another new nozzle on it because this one is clogged. I'm sure there's probably a way to unclog it, but whatever. So I put a new nozzle on it, and now it's doing its trick. But if you're printing and you hear an obnoxious noise coming from your extruder, what that is when it's trying to retract, if it's blocked in here with that big glob, it's not able to retract, and so the gear is going to just strip and spin on the filament. And so if it's doing that, you know you got an issue and you're going to want to deal with it, and it's most likely a clog or a partial clog in your hot end. So I hope this helps, and enjoy your 3D printing.